This is my long-term ownership review of my Miele W1 Passion Washer. Thank you to everyone who has been patiently waiting for this. I know I've had a number of requests from my long-time subscribers, and I did hold off doing it for a bit for reasons which I'll explain a bit later in the video, but hopefully now I will do enough of an overview for you to know a bit more about the machine, what I like, what I dislike, and hopefully make an informed decision if you're fancying purchasing one yourself. So this is my current laundry setup. I've obviously got the W1 Passion Washer, and some of you will know late last year I moved to an AEG heat pump dryer when my Miele one sadly experienced some sort of PCB failure, and I'm really happy with both of them. I think I've got a nice combination now of two brilliant laundry appliances, and certainly everything I throw at them comes out nice and clean and dry. I will do a longer review video of the AEG dryer now that I've had it a few months and managed to work out everything I need to get it working how I want. So my reasons for choosing Miele back in 2016 was I was getting frustrated with washing machines not lasting. I went through a few of different brands and they just didn't last beyond 5 to 7 years. The proof will be in the pudding with this. I've only had it since September 2021. Obviously the other one was replaced, but we will see how long this lasts. But the build quality is different. I mean, you can tell just from the detergent drawers today, all this plastic molding is a much better quality. The door feels firmer. I think even the seal looks like it's, you know, of better quality. You've got the standard Miele honeycomb drum. If you Google or ever see the inside of these machines, you will know that the tub is stainless steel. I think some of the baseline versions now, they have switched to some sort of composite, but on this one it's certainly stainless steel, and all the weights in the machine are cast iron, they're not concrete. So there's quality from the ground up there, and I think that really does show just in the feel of the appliance. In terms of your features, it's got the standard Wi-Fi, which is great because it works with the app, your touch screen. The thing I love the most is this drum light, which only a few of the Mieles have got. And it's brilliant. It's in a sort of dark cupboard, as you can see here. Certainly in winter, it's great because no socks are lost. And it's a feature I wish more machines had. The app works well. It allows you to sort of monitor the wash progress. Sometimes if the load is dirtier, and with a combination of options, it will tell you that the cycle time has been increased, and that will send us a push notification through the app as well. And it's also handy to be able to know when the machine's finished if you're not around, and be able to stop it through the app. I don't often use the app to start it. As you can see here, there's the mobile start option. So you literally have to load the drum, close the door, press start, and then it will be able to be activated through the app. And, you know, I think by the time you've done that, you might just as well have started the program. So there's not a lot of instances where I actually use mobile start. So let's talk about its wash performance then, which is really the reason why I think people would be choosing this. I think if you just want to throw anything in the machine and not really think about it, then maybe this Passion isn't for you. If you want to exert a load of control over each program to tailor it for your specific needs, then Miele is the absolute way forward. And this is why I probably stay pretty loyal to the brand in terms of the washing machines. Just to give you some examples, I've thrown some things I put in this machine, and through tailoring the programs, I get the results I want. So for instance, we've got some towels here, and these, I think is coming out, tend to get pretty grimy because I have white towels with all sorts of dirt and makeup and stuff. And I've got some bed linen here, and there's some blood on that from cuts. So that's another thing which I throw in the machine. And like I just said, I don't pre-treat these type of things. So if we look here at my favorites, I have actually customized the programs for this. So if we look at towels, I have set up this sort of cottons program, but tailored to the options which I know will make it work better, basically. So obviously we've got 60 degrees, TwinDos is on for whites. I've got it as normal there. I've added Water Plus. So Water Plus deactivates the power wash system, and power wash is basically using less water and spinning during the wash cycle. It spins that water out and then it gets repumped over it. So I don't mind that for my sort of daily or weekly washes, but for towels, I do just think it needs to be in a lot more water, certainly to get rid of skin detritus and hair and stuff. So that's why I've activated that. And I think that's the only option on this. Here you can see all the extras you can add. The nice thing is when you add some options, the ones that are grayed out aren't available in that combination, so you know pretty instantly what you can and can't use. So I've got white, 60 degrees on that, and then I've added stain. So the reason why this cycle time is longer is because of the stain option. So as I just said, on this towel, we've got some sort of, universal stains, I'd say. So that's why I've added that. And then I've also added makeup as well, because that's something that tends to be on towels and for some reason, and needs to be removed. So by telling the machine what the stain is, it will then use different combinations of the liquid detergent, which is kind of an all-rounder, and then the oxygenated bleach. It'll obviously add more oxygenated bleach because it's whites, and it'll add probably more to get rid of that stain. And I've set this up as a favourite, and that's the beauty of it. I don't really have to think twice about it. Once you've got this combination working, I just throw towels in and press this. Also with the favourites, it's quite good because if you do find an option isn't working, you can change anything here, press save again, and then those new options will be saved for the next time. So let's talk about your precious sort of clothing items then. I don't have a lot of designer gear, but sometimes when you've paid enough for clothes, you don't want to run the risk of anything happening to them in the machine, and I absolutely trust this Miele with everything. Point in case here is these True Classic t-shirts, which some of you may be familiar with. They require very, very gentle care. I certainly don't dry them, but I do put them in the machine here, and you can see that they're a sort of cotton combination, but you really need to wash them cold and very gently. So back within my favorites, I've got a program set up just for this. So this was based off the Delicate cycle. I've added cold there because, they need a cold wash. I don't want to run the risk of any shrinkage. I've also added extra gentle, so that differentiates the drum rhythm, makes it a lot more gentle on the clothes, because really I don't wear them for anything that's going to get dirty. They just need a sort of gentle care, obviously cold and a low spin there. And I guess I could add some other options, but I'm finding this works really well for these t-shirts at the moment. Again, I've got a jacket here, and that I would probably just put on delicates. The TwinDos system does work with delicates. So a bit more about TwinDos then. It's obviously this 2-component system that sits here within the machine. I do wish it was a 3-component system. If I could have a container for fabric conditioner, then I'd be made, but that I have to add manually over here. I don't ever really use this drawer. It's really just maybe on the odd time if you add some stain remover, but again, as I said, I very rarely pre-treat anything. And this is also for the caps, but I don't really use those. They are these things over here. And there's all sorts of ones with fabric conditioner and different stain treatments, and they just sit in there like that, and when you close that, it pierces them. They are single use, so I think it's a bit wasteful, and I don't think they're that cheap either, so I haven't really tended to use many of those. The TwinDos system is brilliant. In combination with all the wash options I've just gone through, I pretty much guarantee everything I throw in there, including this bed linen with some bloodstains on, will definitely come out clean. And I have used my own detergents before, so these are the containers. They don't come with the machine, you have to buy them separately, and you can fill them up. So in doing that, I've sort of been able to use Fairy Liquid, say, and then put my fabric conditioner in as well. But the results aren't as good, I have to say, or you certainly have to think about pre-treating them. Obviously, the stains options on your favorites then won't particularly work. So I carry on using the TwinDos, and I probably change these a couple of times a year. I think each bottle lasts me about 3 or 4 months, roughly. I have started putting the date on just to monitor that, and it will vary depending on what you wash. So obviously, as you can see here, the sort of colour liquid detergent I use more of, and then because I wash fewer whites, I guess, I've still got a lot more of the liquid bleach. So I have actually started buying these separately now. And I don't really buy the bleach very much, but I certainly have to buy the liquid detergent a bit more often than that. Just to show you a bit more then about the menu structure, when you start the machine, this is the sort of screen you're presented with. So you've immediately got your programs, your favorites, and mobile start. Over here is the washing assistant. Now this I don't love. It used to be the sort of mixed load on the last washer, and you could sort of add all these items into what would be a sort of semi-bespoke program, but these just kind of select the next nearest matching one. So if we go bed linen, oh, there is towels here, that's interesting. And we'll say whites. It's robust and it's heavy. Okay, let's see what this chooses. So yeah, so it's chosen cotton. So I guess that's one way around creating them yourself. But as you can see here, it's not really a tailored program specifically for towels. It's just gone ahead and matched the nearest program that it's got in its settings. So it's taken us actually into programs. So beyond washing assistance, there's the maintenance. Now this is very important. With the TwinDos system, I wash it out every time I replace a cartridge. I think that's the best one. So you can buy a specific TwinDos cleaner from Miele. I've actually run out. It contains some sort of chemical additives and then just spends about 8 minutes running through whatever compartment you've put it in, and doing a quick rinse at the end. And I think it's important to do the maintenance to keep the machine running properly. Miele sort of indicate you will have problems if you don't use TwinDos all the time. I use it for every cycle, so hopefully that's going to be an issue for me. But if you choose not to, I think you would need to think about this maintenance a bit more. Obviously, there's a clean machine cycle. Somebody on YouTube pointed out that this does automatically come with the quick option activated. So if you want to give the machine a really good clean, then you take that off, and obviously that's gone up to an hour. In the settings as well, it's very similar to my old machine. So there's a raft of things you can control in here. I have got the display on all the time. I think the default from the factory was that it came, that turns off, but glancing over the machine, you couldn't then tell what it was doing or how long it has. So I've turned that back on. So there's your consumption data here. It's great that you can set the cost, so you can actually tell it how much your water and electric costs, and then it will give you a cost. I don't know if it's on the app, but it's certainly on the machine at the end of every cycle. And that does just make you a little more conscious about what options you're choosing. Say if you're, you know, my 3-hour towel wash, is that really necessary? Maybe not. Maybe I could tweak the settings after I've looked at the cost. This is, you know, your sort of keypad volumes. So there's a raft of different options that you can choose from. So let's just quickly go through the differences then of the Miele Passion compared to its, I think, nearest competitor. Passion's supposed to be the top of the line model. It's got this kind of silverized effect, which is also on the Passion dryer. The main difference with this one is it's got a steam generator. I believe it's probably the only one left in Miele's range in the UK with a steam generator. Don't quote me on that. And secondly, it's got a hot water inlet, which is very unusual these days in washing machines, particularly here in the UK. We all tend to have combi boilers, which is just gas heating it in water instantly. So it would make no economic sense to have plumbed this into hot water. However, as things change, people are getting heat pumps, people are getting solar. I do think it's a good option to have. And if I ever went for some sort of renewable hot water source, it's definitely something I could consider. And I would get sort of hot water plumbed in. So there's a second hose on the back, and there's a few varying options. Now I need to remember where this is within the settings. Yes, here we are. So water intake. So you can tell it what it is. So whether it's hot and cold, soft water, well water, I think is sort of rain, or well, I guess the opposite of rainwater, has come from a well. But in telling it what it's taking in, it'll then, I guess, adjust how it handles water. So definitely something I'll consider for the future as and when I make the upgrade to some sort of renewable energy source. The other difference with the Passion washer is that it's got the load indicator. So that there, as I mentioned earlier, increases in 25% increments, and it does adjust for every load. So obviously this one's 9 kgs. If it was 3 kgs, I guess it would adjust it. It's not the most accurate, but it certainly is helpful, I think, when you're doing a big load like towels, or, you know, any chance of overloading is going to affect the wash performance. So it's nice to see. I think a lot of the old Mieles used to have this function, or some of the top end ones. So it's nice that this is back. And to my knowledge, it's the only one in their range that has this still. I did recalibrate it. You just have to put a 5 kilo weight in the drum, just recalibrate it, and that made the difference. It seemed to sort of go out of calibration for some reason, but I guess if it's spinning and wobbling all over the place with an unbalanced load, that may throw it out. And so far as I know, those are the only differences between this and the other model, one below in this line. Obviously with the steam generator, you've got the steam care and freshen up cycles. I don't know if those are available on the ones that don't. I think it's some sort of other pre-ironing thing. And I do use steam care a lot because I hate ironing, and I try and avoid ironing as much as I can, particularly for work shirts. So let's talk about bad then. I am pleased with this washer, but it isn't perfect, and I know I'm somewhat a perfectionist, but if these things were solved, then it would be the perfect machine for me. The first thing is noise. Sometimes the pumps are a bit loud, and again, you think at this price point, they'd be a bit quieter. I am fortunate that it is all in this cupboard, so I can just close the door, but, and it is a very quiet machine. I am just being picky, but still, when you think this is, I think current list price is nearly £3,000 here in the UK on Miele's site, that these things would sort of be taken care of. So that's one thing. The other thing is a sort of ticking noise to the side of the machine. It's coming from something suspension related on that side. So when the machine's hot, there is this kind of ticking notion that happens with an unbalanced load. And again, you know, door closed, not a problem, but at this price point, I would be expecting that not to be an issue. It was one of the primary reasons why I held back on the review. I will try and include a clip of what it's like. Just feel like for a premium machine, it shouldn't really be doing that. Miele have been back and forth. They've told me it's everything from, you know, something inside they can't fathom to electronics, and it's just a bit disappointing now that it's out of warranty. They haven't been able to sort it, and I'm kind of stuck with it now. I might have to investigate doing it myself. Obviously, if anybody else has had this problem, I know of one other YouTuber that's reached out, but between us, we just don't know what it is. And as I think their machine's in warranty and mine was, I didn't want to start opening it up. The next disappointment I'd say is spinning, which is a shame because the first W1 model I had was a brilliant spinner. It spun everything really, really well balanced. This doesn't do as good a job, and it's irritating because obviously the power wash system does spin, and sometimes it makes a pretty awful noise. Sometimes it won't spin altogether. I reach for things to get them out if I've not really been monitoring the wash, and they're wet from a rinse. They haven't spun because the machine's deemed it too unbalanced. Usually the separate spin program, which I think is all the way there, does just spin everything. But it is just frustrating that that's something that wasn't present on the first W1. This one seems very, very fussy. I'm not sure whether it's the different design or whether this just is an updated version, I guess, of my first W1, but that one was a way, way better spinner. So there's not too much bad. I know I'm a picky perfectionist, but I just wish that these things didn't exist or had been sorted, and then the machine would be perfect in my eyes. But for the minute, I think Miele could do a little better, and I hope that they do so on whatever new versions they launch, whenever that may be. So that is my long-term ownership review of the W1 Passion washer. I hope that's been informative enough to let you know what it's all like. If you do have any questions, please shove them in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. And as I said, I will try and do a review of the lovely AEG heat pump dryer as well. Thanks ever so much for watching. And if you are interested and not a subscriber, please do subscribe, and I aim to push out some more content soon. Thanks very much.